Hello ladies and gentlemen, it is Cumley here, and today I am happy to bring you episode number 3 of Cumley Presents, my show about slutty Chicago nightclubs and occasionally heroes of New Earth. Today what we're going to be looking at is we're going to take a look at some games from a very specific player, Wildsoulrape. As you may have guessed from his name, he is an account that only plays Wild Soul, and he has one removed game on Devour, but we won't talk about that. And we're just going to look at some of his specific farming methods, and we're going to look at how he progresses throughout the game and how he managed to get to like mid-1900s. I believe solo queuing nothing but wild still. He may have been queuing with people, but I think it was primarily solo. But in any case, this is about a 1920 game. I think he is around during these two games. We're going to take a look at both a Hellborn team and a Legion team game. And so right off the bat, we're starting with this Hellborn game. And you see that Behemoth is kind of just coming out to scout him out. I'm not really sure what he's trying to accomplish there. But right off the bat, there's this really cute little trick he used where he actually cut down this tree with the bear's hatchet, and that allowed him to pull just right here, and it was really, really easy for him to make sure that he got the stack on the yellow. That's something that I tried like right after I watched this game for the first time, because I like to make sure that I'm casting decent games, and I really liked it. I thought it was really interesting. It really helped me kind of control the area that I was farming a lot better, and it's a really good touch. And you also see he does something similar right here, okay? You see this little cliff? This cliff is kind of like his pull zone, where he's going to continuously sit here and just attack these creeps. And you see that they walk back, but he can really easily pull them back. He uses the hatchet there. But for the most part, if you just attack them, they actually walk right back up. You see, like, that's an example right there. So really, really interesting ideas. You'll find that we're going to find that in the beginning of the game, he really controls this area of the map right here. And he's concentrating on those three kind of spawns, and he really focuses on getting those down. We do see Predator getting bloodless here on top. Again, you know, we don't really care about what's happening in the rest of the game. Voting for a remake after this Predator is 2v1ing, which is a little bit difficult for a Predator to do. And, you know, he's very discontinuing. If you've noticed, there's been no point in this game where any spawn has been blocked from stacking, right? There's been no empty spawns after the minute mark. So it's really, really interesting, really smooth, really fluid movement. For those of you who are not familiar with this Wildsoulrape player in general, I think it's some yummy water, is he tends to go for Alchemist Bones really quickly, Mock of Brilliance really quickly, gets Striders and Vestments on both, and Striders on Wild Soul. And he's really able to do quite a bit for it, so I wanted to kind of break down exactly how he's managed to do so well and so consistently, and that consistency is really the part that I'm particularly curious about. As far as starting items go, he did start with only that Iron Buckler and the Hatchet. There was no regen or anything like that. That gave him about an extra 135 gold, I think it is, which, you know, really helps him kind of get to that Alchemist Bones a little bit faster. Again, just little tiny optimizations that actually come together to make a pretty big difference. And again, I really like cutting out this tree. I don't know why that didn't occur to me at any point on any hero, but it cuts down your travel time quite a bit. And I think we're going to find, once we get past the part where I actually know exactly what he's doing, which is in about 30 seconds, I watched the first about 4 minutes of this, that he's trying constantly throughout the game to just always be attacking something as much as humanly possible. We see just how much damage Bobo is actually able to do. By the way, I think technically it's Boo Boo, right? But I feel more comfortable saying Bobo. So I'm just going to say that all game. See, actually, again, he gets the stack on there just because he has this huge range of time where he can attack that creep and it's going to come right back to him. I don't know if this is after the leash change or not, but again, you know, the leash change is not really going to affect that too much. And I've had some success after it, still doing the same kind of strategy. And so, you know, we're going to speed this up a little bit. He's doing the same kind of thing where he's focusing on these three things. We see that Myrmidon is coming up here. Behemoth quite low. It does look like that Wild Soul is going to come over and get the bloodless kill. That's actually where I stopped recording after he got the bloodless kill. But very nice by him. You know, that's a very nice gold boost for him. It's a little bit unfortunate that Behemoth didn't kind of suspect that he'd be around here. We do see Wild Soul's in a bit of a dangerous position here with this Soul Stealer. He's farming away, and Soul Stealer and Behemoth are going to come in, and there's definitely no way that he's going to get out of that. So, that bloodless kill and that are going to kind of cancel out a little bit. Predator coming in here to farm after he saw that their team was in here. I kind of expect him to die as well. Level 5 Soul Stealer, his Demon Hands do quite a bit of damage. It can be a little bit dangerous. Torture coming in here, kind of preventing Soul Stealer from getting a little bit extra farm on there. That'll be nice for him. Let's see. Wildsoul is, so far he's sitting at about 220 GPM. It's not, it doesn't seem great, but, every little bit of GPM increase at the beginning helps you more and more as the game goes on. You get your alchemist bones a little bit faster, which helps you get your sword to the high a little bit faster, which helps you get your monk bones a little bit faster. And if you can hit some really good, timings, like close fights can be a lot different 2 or 3 minutes later. It does look like he's going to choose to go do Ancients at level 6. So he's got 3 and 3 in his skills so far, and he is going to choose to do it at level 6. He's actually choosing the stack as well. So apparently at level 6 he feels pretty confident in doing a double stack of Ancient Creeps, which is pretty strong. I actually really like, again, his positioning here is very good. He has this little area where the creeps can attack him, whereas if he pulled over here, they have this huge arc that they can kind of form around you and your bear and really attack you a lot more efficiently, right? They have that really great concave around you, which is something for those of you that play StarCraft as well are more than familiar with how important that is. And he actually gets a stack again, so this is a really good spot for that as well. He's really able to kind of bounce the dragons and the dinosaurs, whatever, back and forth. You saw I just kind of moused over that name, and I decided not to pronounce that. And so yeah, it's really great to see like the really small efficiencies in his farming that really kind of add up, because it's just something that a lot of times we don't think about when we're jungling. I think it's really easy to kind of be a lazy jungler, right? Because, for the most time, especially in lower level games, people they ignore you, and you kind of just have the ability to right-click creeps and stare at everybody else playing and think, this Slim Beast one's doing pretty good. Doesn't matter. You have to really kind of focus on your game and maximizing your farm. He's also coming down and he's doing the Legion jungle. You do see he does have his alchemist bones. It's a very nice pickup for him. It's going to increase his GPM by a little bit more. We do see he is at about 340 GPM after using only the first bolt of those alchemist bones. And so now he's going to go right for Maka Brilliance, I suspect. I think that's typically what he does, is before boots or anything else, he does go right for that Mach of Brilliance. I'm going to want to say Bach of Brilliance like 1,000 times. I can feel it already. But yeah, you see that, he only leaves the bear at level 3 for now. He doesn't need the magic resistance. And so to make his farming faster, he's going to go ahead and he is going to get that wild boost, which gives him a little bit of, 10 attack speed. It's not that great, but the actual move speed will help him a lot as well. Just kind of getting around. It does look like his pattern was a little bit messed up by Predator attacking those creeps. But he just makes his way right back to, I'm guessing, the bottom jungle. Looks like he's using his bear ahead to scout a little bit. And, see like that, he pulls it closer to him with the bear, because the bear is, moving a little bit faster. It's way more safe for the bear to be out there. And this positioning is good as well. A lot of really subtle positioning things that are really good and will help you keep you safe. Again, there wasn't any danger there at the time, but if there were, he would have been better prepared for it. And that's definitely can make a difference in your consistency of play, which is one of my big things, is trying to be as consistent as possible in the game. And so let's look at gold right now. He's at about 2,300 gold. It's 12 minutes in the game. He is on pace for a pretty quick Maka Brilliance here. He did have that death, but he also got the bloodless kill, kind of balancing out each other. I'm not sure exactly how those two would balance, but it's definitely interesting. He sent his bear back to heal and did a pull at the same time, so he's not wasting time. If the bear isn't there to be killing stuff, it's healing up so that he has it on cooldown when he needs to cast it again, and he is going to continue to level that wild. I really like that. The bear only really needs to be at 3 for quite a while until you kind of get to those team fight stages where people really just decide to go ahead and kill your bear out of spite. And well, because it's also doing a ton of spread damage and raping your buildings in like 20 hits. But besides that, that's really kind of the point when you really need to have that bear be tanky. And he really tends to be, as a player, just from the item builds I've seen in the match scoring things, he tends to be really favored on the bear and almost gets no items on this Wild Soul hero. So while he's farming up a little bit, let's just take a look at the other game. Let's just see what's going on. I'm a little bit curious. The Hellboard team is ahead at this point. You know, they're ahead 8-15, and that's pretty important. You know, they have a lot of really good early game heroes. Torture and Myrmidon, very, very strong in that kind of early game. And that's important because if you give Wild Soul that time to kind of do whatever he wants, and you have the lead for a bit, like, you have a pretty secure hold on the game, because it's pretty hard for the other team to actually get ahead of that. A little bit of Myrmidons and a little bit of danger here. Let's slow this down. It does look like Soul Stealer is going to get a double kill, but Armidon should be able to get away. No problem at all. He does have those Ghost Marchers. Now, Armidon farming quite well. I can see he does have 370, let's go with 7 gold per minute. 76, you know, I like to be accurate as possible, which is a lot. And that's really the kind of thing that makes the Legion team feel very uncomfortable in this early game. And it's kind of letting them make up for this Predator, who is 1-3-1, which isn't really what you want from a Predator. He did choose to go Alchemist Bones as well. I guess he just kind of assumes that with a Wild Soul on your team, you're kind of in it for the long run, right? Because Wild Soul needs so much wind-up time that he can really afford to also kind of push back his farm. And again, attack speed is pretty good on Predator, and Alchemist Bones are pretty good at the moment. They are pretty good. And so I don't really fault them for that necessarily. I don't know, I think I tend to underbuy Alchemist Bones a little bit. I think that they are, like, ridiculously strong at the moment. But it's just kind of hard for me to apply that, because I like winning as quickly as possible. We do see Soul Stealer just barely managing to get that ultimate off. It does look like he's going to die with a haste. It's a little bit unfortunate, giving a kill to this Flint Beastwood. But you see the bear doing a good job of scouting out. And Wild Soul is just back here, and he's going to be farming these Ancients again. I expect him to try and get a stack on this and, you know, pull in this nice little cute spot and get even more gold farm. He should actually be approaching... yeah, he does have his Sword of the High already, so, you know, he's really getting towards that Monk of Brilliance. I would put him on track for maybe 18-minute Monk of Brilliance, which is not by any means slow. Especially, again, he is like 19-20 in this game. This is by no means a low-rated game, and if he's able to pull these numbers where there's constant threat of the other team kind of coming and messing up his shit, we can do even better in our own games. To get really high GPM. Well, let's see how the Legion team is doing. Luna is sitting here with Alchemist Bones as well. Alchemist Bones, pretty good. If I wrote a slogan for Alchemist Bones, it would be pretty good. When you see Armidon, just absolutely unafraid of everything here. Luna forsaking Behemoth completely, and Behemoth is 100% going to die here. Flint Beastwood kind of walking like he's going to do anything, but I highly doubt that. So you see the Legion team is already in kind of an uncomfortable position, and this has really been without Wild Soul. Wild Soul has not had any presence. You know, he's 1-1-0, which isn't bad. You know, you kind of expect it from Wild Soul. That's kind of the trade-off, right? He's going to be really, really strong later, but you have to kind of be useless for a while. And so he's the Hellboy team is doing a really good job kind of making that as least painful as possible. Soul Stealer is probably going to die here to this Torturer. Torturer does have a stun cooldown in 1 second. We'll see if he manages to hit it. And he does, and the Soul Stealer does go down, giving Predator a little bit more time to farm as well. He'll be able to kill these top creeps. We do see Predator has kind of squeaked up to about 250 GPM, but, you know, he definitely wants to be quite a bit higher than that. When you see a call for the Legion team to concede, they kind of probably see the pain that is coming in their future once this Wild Soul does get his Monk of Brilliance, which he has on Bobo. I didn't see the exact timing on that. You think that would be kind of important in a game where we're talking exclusively about Wild Soul, but I just don't pay attention that much, to be honest with you. And so he is a couple more levels away from getting maxing on that bear. I do expect him to go down here. He's going to try to take out a Luna first, but it just isn't close enough. He did not have the mana to actually resummon his bear at any point in that. If he had that, he would have been much scarier, and probably might have been able to chase down that Luna. I'm not sure what the actual move speed differences were. Let's see, Luna is 360. I think the bear is 300 and... I want to say it'd be like 85 with that wild buff. Let's go ahead and just skip ahead to when he reses, because I need to know that. 426. Wow, okay, so pretty fast bear. I really kind of like this wild build ASAP. You know, that you have to get that ultimate just because it's so good. You look at him with 1500 HP at this point with no items at all. Really kind of lets you do this style. For a long time, I was doing the build up the Wild Soul build, you know, make him like super fast and super pain in the ass and all that stuff. But it's just, it's not even remotely as good as this very specific style. And so now we see he's becoming a little bit more involved. He's kind of looking for places where he can help his team. You know, that Mock of Brilliance is a really great trigger point because, you know, Mock is never going to be as strong as it is right now. And so you really want to make sure that you're using it to its maximum potential. It's kind of like a Codex, right? Codex is never as strong as it is when you first get it. Unless you get Codex level 5, which is pretty good. But, you know, level 1 Codex... it's just so effective when people are at their weakest and they have those lowest HPs, and you're able to do a higher percentage of their HP per second from that static damage. And so you want to try to be really, really proactive once you get that. But make sure you see he's using his Alchemist Bones when it's off cooldown. He's killing creeps in a very solid rotation. It's a little bit more painful because he has to be a little bit more consistent in his walking back and forth between the jungle and the ancients. And he doesn't really want to do that, but you don't really have much of a choice at this point. What did he just pick up? He just picked up boots. I think that was just boots. That feels right. And so, you know, he's still just farming up. Legion team has to be worried about him at this point. It's very hard to deal with, you know, a Muck of Brilliance on this Bobo. They're going to want to probably, yeah, you see Soul Stealer has a portal key, and Behemoth is working towards one as well, I imagine. But, you know, if you get that Mock in there early, it can be really devastating when they're not able to actually cast those at all. When you see Predator making a little bit of an unfortunate decision there. Predator sitting at 1-5-2. I'm sure he's a great guy, not having the best game in the world. Although I think he was shit-talking a little bit. So, you know, not the most remorse in the world. Most of that was during the picking screen, which, fuck, you guys don't give a shit about, so I don't bother showing you. You're just mad. I'm the best. Where's Wildsoul? I haven't even... Oh, I have the camera staring at Wildsoul. But he actually, he's moved the Alchemist Bones to the bear. You know, at this point, the bear is just doing so much damage that it's kind of efficient to bounce it around a little bit. But you see, he wasn't really panicking early game about swapping those Alchemist Bones back and forth nonstop. I'm not sure how big of a difference that would make, or even if that's the most efficient way to do it before you have your Mock of Brilliance, just because of the amount of damage your attack speed actually gives you. But we do see he picked up the Striders on Wildsoul. Right, which is something that I probably would have never done, just thinking about it. But it gives you maximum move speed once you have level 4 in Wild. And you can see he did choose to get level 4 bear at this point. He's being a little bit more aggressive. He's being a little bit more involved in the team fights now. And so that magic resistance on the bear is actually a lot more useful at this point in the game. Yeah, and so the Striders give you the maximum move speed. It lets you really kind of get to the team fights, get to the spots you need to be. Let you make the trip from here all the way up here quite a bit quicker as well. And, you know, because your bear can teleport. Your bear doesn't really give a shit how fast it is, just because it's able to get to you so efficiently. And so it does look like they're going to come here down into the jungle. I am going to speed this... Oh, I've got to speed it back up. I'm going to go ahead and go all the way up to 4x. Okay, we're going to go to 4x, and we are going to follow the bear. Oh, yeah. We're going to call him Adventure Bear. He needs a saddle. Like, your ultimate should be like you ride him. That would be more exciting. So team fight, yes. Team fight, excellent. Doing a ton of AoE damage, killing everybody. And, ooh, really nice ult in my Soul Stealer. You saw that little use of the fog right there to actually get it off even more effectively. Even more effectively. I'm kind of hoping that we see, like, a tower push here. Just because I want to see how much damage Bobo is actually doing to towers at this point. There you go. You can see just the amount that the HP on the tower goes every time that Bobo attacks. It's just ridiculous because of that passive that the bear has. It really makes him quite impressive. Quite impressive. He's a very handsome bear. If I were into bears, he would be on my top 10 list of bears to kiss in the mouth. But I'm not, unfortunately. Sorry. Sorry all you bears out there in Hanland. Can you tell I've been casting in about 3 weeks? Yeah, me too. That's okay. Yeah, so this is the point in the game where he just rift shards on his bear. He's able to do just a ton of damage to everybody. And really, in this phase of the game, he just kind of focuses on getting those good pushes when he can. Really punishing people for their bad positioning with that bear, which is, so mobile, so able to really get around. You see Myrmidon actually has the post haste, which lets him get to the bear really quickly. And it does look like Luna's going to get away here. I think I am just going to go ahead and stop the replay here. As you might imagine, they go ahead and actually it's almost done. We'll keep going with it. I think this is it's 34 minutes long, 35 minutes long. Yeah, we're almost there. We might as well finish it out. And, you see he's just doing crazy amounts of pulling and stacking and using his Alchemist Bones and really getting his GPM out there and really kind of maxing it out. He's just under 500 GPM at this point. Arbidon is over 400 as well, making them really, really devastating. And the Legion team just really does not have the answer for this in the team fights. That bear is just always on top of them, getting those procs and getting that AoE damage from the Mach. And he's just so fast at this point in the game as well that it's really, really hard for the Legion team to deal with. They're trying to chase really, really hard, which probably is not the best idea when you actually have this fast of a bear chasing after you. And he is going to get the kill onto that Luna who is running away. Extraordinarily hard to follow in 8x speed, but I'm just kind of waiting to move on at this point. You see Soul Stealer trying to get out of range just long enough to get his portal key off. It does look like he's going to be able to get it off here. But really, what is the Legion team trying to work for here? I'm not sure. Maybe if Flimpies got really farmed and Behemoth and Soul Stealer were able to hit really strong ults. But again, especially when you combine Wild Soul with somebody else that is really strong, somebody like that Armadon, it becomes much more difficult to actually convert the game into a win. Just because it's so hard to kill both of them. They're both so tanky, and if they have good positioning, which Wild Soul absolutely can, right, because he's not dedicated at all to the positioning of the bear, it's very difficult to kill both of them in any kind of reasonable burst timing. And so you see, they finally kind of get to a fight where everything connects. Legion team overextends a little bit. Wild Soul just goes right to the base. You should look at that HP dropping. Again, this is in 4x speed. We can tell even at 1x, he just does so much damage with that bear. And it is up for summon again. So he's going to be able to go in here and just clean up this tower. And, I mean, just look at the HP of the tower drop. He does like 70 or 80 damage per hit easily to that tower. And just kind of kicking the shit out of their building. You mad? I've raped you. Predator has apparently raped people. Not with the 2, 5, and 3 Predator, but in other games, I suspect he has. There is a little bit of debate here about if he has raped them or not. It's rude when somebody says that they've raped you and they haven't. I guess. I don't know what I'm talking about anymore. Wild Soul, please end the game. Alright, we're going up. Yeah, there we go. Yay. Alright, so we are going to come back. We're going to pull back. We're going to look at another game. Again, we're primarily going to look at the early game a little bit more than the late game because, when you're following one hero in the late game, it gets a little bit boring. But we're going to go ahead and look at one from the Legion side, so I will be right back with that. Alright, and we are back for part 2 of our Wildsoulrape spotlight, I guess we could call it. This time we're going to be looking at his farming techniques on the Legion team. Okay, and we do see both Voodoo Jester and Pebbles right here are in the jungle. I imagine they're looking for Wild Soul. They do actually choose to block this creep spawn. They do also have a ward right here on the river. It's going to be a little bit tricky for Wild Soul to deal with this, but you see, something I actually forgot to bring up last game is that he was doing a really good job scouting with his Bobo. Right when the game started, he actually headed over here to watch for any kind of attempted creep blocks or people coming through the jungle to try and catch him early, such as what is happening here. Ooh, we do also see a creep block on the easy camp by the Hellborn team. They are going all out trying to block this guy. Again, he is like 1949 in this game, I want to say. I did just see it literally about 20 seconds ago, but I've already forgotten. And it looks like he's going to go ahead and start right here on this this Minotaur camp. One of the great things about Wild Soul is that right off the bat he's able to actually handle these more difficult camps. That bear is such a great tank. He's already at half health, but it's really not a big deal, right? The benefit you get from continuing to have a really strong early game is more than worth it. The bear is probably already back off cooldown. It is. So he's going to be able to really take advantage of that. He's probably going to be a little bit surprised when he gets here and there's no creeps there whatsoever. He probably would have stacked this if he knew that that was what was happening. But again, we're going to see if he can adapt his strategy to really only having kind of 3 fairly well spread out creep camps, all the way over here, all the way over here, and then this one is, of course, ridiculously spread out. from the other two. When you see Bubbles is down here, he's going to be soloing against a Pebbles and Voodoo Jester. It's a little bit of a brutal combo to solo against. You know, the cask range on Voodoo Jester is quite large, and if he gets that, it really sets up a very easy kind of stun for Pebbles. And so it'll be interesting to see if Bubbles is able to, you know, really survive and not get harassed almost out of the lane. Which could be a little bit tricky for him, to be honest. On top, we have a Flint Beastwood going up against a Magnus and an Aluna, and it does look like they have a Tempest jungling as well. So we have a jungler versus jungler situation, which you don't see a lot, to be honest. You know, it's not the most common combination in the world. Voodoo Jester coming in here just to harass his Wild Soul. He just really does not want Wild Soul to feel comfortable. You know, he's not going to get a kill. Level 1 Voodoo Jester alone is not going to get a kill on the Wild Soul. But he's just, again, you know, this is time where Wild Soul is not killing something, he's not attacking something. And he just barely actually manages to get the kill on that over Voodoo Jester. But Voodoo Jester really just kind of wants to be a pain in his dick. You know, when Wild Soul hits level 3, it'll be a little bit harder, right? Because those root procs on the bear are so strong that if he got even one on Voodoo Jester would be in a very uncomfortable position. But you see both Pebbles and Voodoo Jester are really roaming hard on this Wild Soul, and there's not too much he can do about it. Right, it is fortunately letting Pebbles really get these solid levels, but they also timed it very well. They timed it when the creeps were going to be in the tower, and so they wasted minimal time. You know, when the creeps are in the tower, generally you want to be trying to use your time to do something else more effective. You know, either gank mid, or that's a good time to put your wards down if you need to. Things like that, and so they're really utilizing their time very well, and that is quite nice to see. So GDC's just going back here to this camp. Level 3 at the moment. Again, this is a very good level to hit because it really gives you that root proc, which you can see just adds quite a bit of DPS to your auto attack when you're going against these harder creeps. Which is Skeleton King isn't, you know, the hardest creep in the world, but still can be quite a pain. And so we do see that it looks like he is going to go all the way over to the Ancients right away at level 3, just because he doesn't really have an option for it. You can see Voodoo Jester walking through the jungle, but he's not there, Voodoo Jester. He's doing the Ancients because he is a baller, and he is going ahead to make to make a point of healing up the bear before that. Obviously, he does pick up that Gloves of the Swift right away. We did see that he kind of delayed his Gloves of the Swift last game. He was really focused on kind of getting a completed Alchemist Bones before he did anything else. And Puppet Master does go down mid to this Devourer, who killed himself. I think he probably could have just run over here and been fine. But, you know, he got the Bloodless kill, and so we have to give him a little bit of props. Like, maybe like 7 props out of 10. Which is a fair amount, I would say. And so again, you know, he's not afraid to really stack those creeps. Level 3 going up against a double stack of Ancients, I probably wouldn't do that just because I don't feel confident in my ability to actually kill it. So we'll have to see if he is able to successfully clear it all, or if he would have been a little bit better off just trying to do the single camp. But you see, he's kind of got this really good situation right now where the Dragon Master and one of the dragons isn't pulled at all, and so that's actually really, that makes a big difference. He's really able to DPS sit down without a ton of damage coming to him. But Legion Team does get a good kind of free choke here, whereas the Leader Team had to make the conscious effort to pull for it. There's really nowhere you can pull. I guess you could pull right here, and you could just be herp derping it and get kind of rolled over by the Ancients. But we're not going to do silly things like that. When you see Devour against Puppet Master mid, that's a pretty exciting match. Puppet Master saw Devo standing there, I think, but he ain't afraid of no ghost, you know. And so we're gonna speed up. I don't know why I don't speed up these games like right away. You know, farming jungle is not the most exciting thing in the world, but again, there are these subtle little decision-making things that I think were important enough to talk about, to go ahead and just, you know, watch a few games and talk about them. We do see Wildsoul was able to clear that successfully. It took a little bit, probably a little bit longer than he would have liked, but he's able to get the kill. He's able to keep up his GPM and his XP per minute as well. You see, he's about 216 gold per minute, 230 after this creep camp. Not too bad, not too far behind where he was the other game. You know, Hellborn team was really trying to punish him, but it really just let him get the Ancients quite early. A little bit of an unfortunate mistook there. Oh, I don't know why I'm drinking beer when I'm casting. That was a horrible decision. Water would have been a much better idea. For those of you that are curious, I'm drinking the Latitude 48 IPA by Samuel Adams, which is interesting, but I wouldn't buy it again. Interesting. It's interesting. And so we see Wildsoul's just going right back to those Ancients. He does have the 2 Gloves of the Swift. He's probably getting pretty close to his actual Alchemist Bones. Maybe not. Maybe he just picked up the Gloves of the Swift. And I'm a silly Billy. I'm not too sure. But he's definitely going to want to get those as soon as possible. I'll kind of be interested to see what the mock timing is on this game. We saw the last one was around 18 minutes. Again, I didn't see the exact timing of it because I'm a noob. But I'll be interested to see what the timing is. And yeah, he did actually just pick up his Alchemist Bones right there. And he has them on the bear because just hit the Gloves of the Swift, transfers to right to Wildsoul. And he's going to be able to get a... ooh, I'm going to be interested to see also if he chooses to actually eat the Skeleton King. You know, the Skeleton King gives you much lower gold than the other ones do. Wisely decides to stack and gets that beautiful Vagabond Leader. Oh, when you're jungling with Alchemist Bones and you see a Vagabond Leader, you should just smile to yourself. You should go buy a lottery ticket. You should tell that cute girl that you're too shy to talk to that you think she's gorgeous, because it's your lucky day, son, and you might just get lucky. Let's look at the Hellboard team. Is going to go and push really early. I'm a little bit surprised that these teams aren't picking a little bit more push-oriented heroes just to kind of punish this Wildsoul's early game. His early game impotence is actually pretty severe, but you know, there's only so much that you can do if you actually don't capitalize on that before he gets his Mako Brilliance. We do see Tempest here has his portal key. He uses ultimate at some point. We don't really care about the rest of the game. We are very rebellious in our replay reviewing. He is also stacking the Ancients. Once again, very important. I think somebody else actually stacked that for him, maybe? I'm not sure. And so he is going to go right back over. Again, he's focusing on this area of the map right here as opposed to this area of the map. But he has a very specific kind of routine going. And it turns out to be pretty efficient, right? He's doing a really good job at just kind of keeping his GPM and his experience per minute up. Despite, you know, I mean, the Hellbourne team did not make a small commitment to put that extra void there. Yeah, it's only an extra 100 gold, but, you know, that's in the super early game, that's a little bit of a commitment. As well, you know, they blocked that naturally, and then they had a ward here that gives them vision. And they were spending a lot of their time resources as well, just kind of walking through and really trying to force out that Wildsoul. I'm not sure if it paid out in the long run. You know, his GPM does not seem that low to me. This access to the Ancients is pretty good. It'd be a little bit more painful if you were on the Hellbourne team, right? There's no quick access to a hard camp like there is just going whoop right down here and getting that. When you see a Luna, again with an Alchemist Bones, I think a trend that you'll see a lot in these higher level games is a lot of people getting Alchemist Bones. None of their range carriers are getting Alchemist Bones, and so that of course means they are going to lose so severely. You gotta get those Alchemist Bones, bro. Gotta get those Alchemist Bones. I'm actually surprised that they buffed Alchemist Bones so hard. They make them pretty useful. And so back to the Ancients we go. Cough, I accidentally sped it up to 4x. Which is the Hellbourne team roaming here throughout the jungle. It seems like the Hellbourne team really wants to be active right now. You know, Tempest and Pebbles do both have their portal keys, but they just got caught out and they got annihilated pretty hard. So again, you see that Wildsoul's team is doing a good job of, you know, they're not playing super aggressive. We don't see them over in the Hellbourne team's jungle, and they're not running around constantly. You know, they're coming here for mid gank, which is pretty safe gank to make. It's just Devourer and Bubbles. Ooh, very nice takeover there by Bubbles as well. But, you know, they're being relatively safe, and that's really letting Wildsoul focus on his farm, and he's doing quite a good job. He is up to 346 GPM, and he just hit that 3,400 gold mark, which means he's going to get that Sword of the High, which I think is actually about 30 seconds faster than we actually saw last game. So, you know, he might be thinking to himself, well, maybe I want to do this really early ancient thing anyway, because it seems like at least in this game, well, he got killed, but he bought the Sword of the High first, and so he lost almost no gold. But, you know, it seems like that was really actually efficient, right? It feels a little inefficient, because you're killing those Ancients so slowly, but it worked out to be quite faster. And so something you might want to do is, you know, as you're playing more games, kind of experiment with that style a little bit, see how it goes, go into the practice mode, play for 15 minutes and just see what your GPM is. Open up another practice mode game, do just a slightly different style, just, you know, tweak your path just a little bit, and see how that affects your gold per minute, and you might find a more efficient path for you, which can of course be huge. And, you know, the ability to adapt to situations where the other team is kind of fucking with your jungle are really important as well. And that, children, is why you always bring a TP with you. True words of wisdom spoken by a sage. Sage Bubbles. We don't see the Mock of Brilliance quite yet. He is just about there. He has a gold for it right now, and you see he instantly buys it and brings it over with the Flying Courier. And so, again, we're going to expect him to get this really big item, right? You see it. The second he gets that Mock of Brilliance, that's me attempting to snap on microphone, goes right into the ultimate form, right? He's no longer interested in being ranged. He's no longer worried about the move speed so much. Really focused on getting that survivability, right? He doesn't want to die anymore for the rest of the game, basically. And so we'll slow down a little bit for this kind of team push. You see that their team use that Mock of Brilliance pickup as a trigger point to say, okay, now is the time when we group up and we push. They didn't just randomly do it. They had to just look at that tower. Oh my god. I feel bad for that tower, okay? Even if this weren't a game, even if this were real, the tower would still be an inanimate object, right? And I still feel bad for it. That is like 6 levels of awkward and weird, but that's the truth. I feel bad for the tower. And so he sees, they blocked his ancient spawn, but he didn't have a chance to get to it for quite a bit, and so there is only about a minute left on that, so it'll only block this next spawn, and then the 22-minute one will go ahead and pop. Yeah, we see the Striders picked up. Again, left the bear at level 3. Going ahead and leveling the wild outside of the ult, because again, the ult is super important, super important for keeping you alive. And so he's not quite at max move speed yet, but he is pretty fast. Moving at max move speed is pretty fun. I keep saying pretty. I'm gonna stop saying pretty. For the next 30 seconds, I will not say the word pretty. I think Devourer might die here. It's hard to say. He does manage to deny himself. Very nice job. Very nice job by him. And Bubbles. Now Bubbles is in a little bit of danger. Goes ahead and ults. Oh. Yeah, Bubbles. That was not the best Shell Surf I've ever seen, but they can't all be winners. They cannot all be winners. Let's speed it up again. So we saw one really good organized push. Looks like they're slowing down a little bit. Why can't I double click that? Wildsoul just kind of putting a lot of pressure here mid. Again, he's super tanky. Tempest actually choosing to ult him. They will probably get a kill here on this Wildsoul. Oh, looks like he might have... Oh, no, he died. Just kidding. He's really putting a lot of pressure on the Hellborn team at this point. Oh, his bear died. That explains it. It actually does a lot of damage to you. I think it's 400 true damage when it dies at this level? I don't know. That is not a casting error if I'm incorrect. It's only wisdom if I'm right, and the game being wrong if I'm incorrect. But you see, they're putting a lot of pressure here onto this Hellborn team. They don't have any Alchemist Bones, whereas the Legion team has 2. And so they're okay with the idea of kind of turtling, but again, that Mock of Brilliance, super strong at the moment, and not going to be any stronger for the rest of the game, so they might as well use it. And they don't really want to get this Pebbles and this Tempest the opportunity to continually pick off their players that are able to get picked off like that. And so it's kind of to their advantage to go ahead and push whenever possible. Whenever possible. Did you guys look at the clock when he picked up Mock? Because I sure did not. I feel like it was around the same time. Let's just go with that. You see the bear the bear is enough. It's enough to stay in with the bear and just kind of chill in the back. Don't overextend. Don't put yourself into the middle of the fight, because he really doesn't need to. He doesn't need to be part of that. He needs to be in a safe spot where the bear can really cause as much chaos as possible. And you see that they're in a good position, so he immediately goes right to that tower. He has so much move speed that he's able to get there no problem, and I assume he's going to be able to get out of here without much difficulty as well, just because he's so fast, even when those Striders are off, just because of Wild, and he's able to actually get the kill on Flip Beastwood because of that Mock of Brilliance on the bear. If you've never had a Mock of Brilliance and then chase somebody down with the bear, like out of attack range, and just follow them until they just get to the fountain and then they die, you have never lived, because that is one of the most enjoyable things you can do in the entirety of Heroes of Newerth. It does look like he's going to send his bear up here to buy something. Oh, he bought a Warp Cleft on that bear again. That's going to give him more procs. Really good. I really like that. Not as fancy as the Rift Shards we saw last game. Those were extraordinarily fancy. But I wouldn't be surprised if we saw him actually get the full demonic breastplate onto that bear. Makes him even more tanky. We did see the bear is sitting at about 13 magic armor, which is a lot of mitigation. You see the bear just chasing down this pebbles with that magma assault, going to do a ton of damage. It should be, yeah, Flint's going to go down here as well. And, you know, the Legion team is just really taking complete control of the game at this point. Again, Wildsoul walks directly to the tower. The bear is able to tank that with no problem at all, and he just does so much damage to that tower that it's pretty good. Fuck, I said pretty. I probably said it like 2 or 3 times since I said that anyway. I don't really care. It's my catchphrase. My catchphrase is the word pretty. That seems reasonable. But yeah, I really hope that you guys kind of take this and you really see what Wildsoul is capable of besides just sitting in the jungle all game. You know, you really need those trigger points where you can say, okay, now I need to become really proactive, and you really need to make sure that you're getting your Mock of Brilliance as fast as possible, because you don't want your team to be alone in that mid-game, right? Not the early mid-game. When you really get to that solid mid-game point, where games can be made or lost, you really don't want to still be farming your Mock of Brilliance. And so every minute you can shave off your Mock is really huge. Refine your jungling, find those really good paths, adapt to the situation as well as you can, and you know, one of the things that I'm taking away from this is to not be afraid of the Ancients whatsoever on Wildsoul. He's just so strong at killing them. Make sure you're microing, make sure you're having the least amount of surface area on those Ancients as you can, and really just focus on getting that farm up as quickly as possible, because that's exactly what the hero is about. Offensive GG by this Wildsoul. He's confident in his ability to win this game, and frankly, I'm confident in his ability as well. Yeah. So next time, while we're watching this game kind of play out, next time, I think tomorrow actually, I'm going to do a video. Hopefully I'll be a little bit more smooth in my casting. Again, I haven't casted in about 3 weeks, and I apologize for that. But I think I'm going to do Soulstealer playing on Scandal. Yeah, Scandal playing Soulstealer, particularly looking at just his farming style. How he's able to be so successful on the hero, so feared and ban-worthy just when he's in a game. And then next week, I'm going to be out of town for the weekend, but next week I want to do a whole series on taking melees mid, how to be really successful with it. I'm going to focus on some hard carries that are not traditionally brought mid, you know, Dark Lady, Madman, Mage Bane, things like that. Next week I'm going to be asking for user submissions of those styles games as well. If you guys want to get a jump on that, take some hard carries mid, be really successful with it, focus really hard on your style and your gameplay mechanics and all of that. And then you can either message me on YouTube, you can message me on Reddit, my account is Cumley. You can email me at cumleyhan@gmail.com, or you can message me on YouTube or comments or all of that good stuff. They all work equally well. I think that'll be really fun. I'm going to try and cast more and more regularly because I think it's really fun. And so yeah, this game should be wrapping up, I think. I always look at the replay times just so I kind of have an idea on when I need to talk about what. 39 minutes, we're a little bit of a ways out of there, but you know, obviously the game is pretty over at this point. The Legion team is able to have such continuous pushes. The Hellmore team can't really do much. I guess some amazing Tempest Assault would be useful, but just with the distance their entire team is creating, that'll be really difficult to pull off. What items did he actually pick up on the boat? We actually see a Basher, or Brutalizer picked up onto the bear as well. Just for those extra procs, because procking is good. I didn't say pretty good, I said good. I just said the word good. You should be very proud of me. Yeah. Let's see anything else. What else should I plug in this time of uselessness? Go to reddit.com/r/Heroes of Newerth. The best Heroes of Newerth community on the internet, because they like me, and because they are so handsome. So very handsome. I would tell you to join the Reddit channel on Heroes of Newerth, but please don't, because it's always full now. We can only have 200 people in a chat channel. Like, that is some weak sauce right there. Okay, so S2, if you're listening to my beautiful voice right now, please up that limit. Just like 500 for the Reddit channel. I mean, we're so good. We're so clever and beautiful and charming that we deserve to have more users than everybody else. Just putting it out there. Just saying. Messenger is very sad that nobody wants to play with him right now. I apologize, Messenger. I am casting a game at the moment for 1 or 2 more minutes. Let's pump this up to 8. I don't know why I didn't think of that. Just look at the amount of damage that fucking bear does to the tower. It is absurd. It is so absurd. And that's really kind of what lets you do this really tanky Wild Soul into ignoring your hero build, is that you could always just go to these buildings and kill them so quickly if they make any misplays at all. And you see, Wild Soul just doesn't get caught by Tempest Ult because it's impossible for him to hit both him and the bear. And so there's the GG well played. And so that is kind of a sample into the look of Wildsoulrape. Check out his replays, they're usually pretty amusing. And I'll see you guys tomorrow for Scandal on Soul Stealer.